Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to have a look at what we talked about in the live the other day. So the lives are on every Tuesday, 12 p.m. GMT for anyone who is interested. They are not kept up for viewing afterwards for the simple reason that we just come on and chat about exactly what it is that we want, and we don't have to feel vulnerable about it being left up there on the internet for viewing afterwards. So we talk about manifestation, personal development, changing our mindset, and self-regulation as well too. So in that live the other day, we talked about the belief and why it's more important to believe in your own self and your own ability than actually believing in the thought that you are saying to manifest. Now, what I mean by this is that when we're actually manifesting something into call it into our experience, it's instant in the sense that once we get the download, it's actually already created in the quantum field of possibilities. It's already created. It's something that you actually may have already experienced in maybe a past life, or something that you're supposed to experience. It's a desire for you that you know is within, it's inherent, and it is for you to experience. So in this kind of perspective, from this perspective, we are looking at our manifestations and thinking, okay, well, if they're instant, why are they not here in front of me? And what I want to talk about is the idea that we actually allow ourselves, it can be unconscious as well, to be overwhelmed with the idea of it manifesting right in front of us. So what I mean by this is that when we do not have a strong belief within ourselves, when we don't have a strong belief in the whole idea of what it is that we are creating, we become more overwhelmed. And when we become overwhelmed, this is when the wavering comes in. So that is why we see kind of concepts and ideas of manifesting things like a cup of coffee, or manifesting things that are deemed little, when the actual thing about it is that it's not little at all. It's actually the same as manifesting, €1,000,000, or manifesting a relationship, or whatever it is that you deem bigger than manifesting a cup of coffee. So why it actually seems that it's not as big is because you're not as overwhelmed with the idea of a cup of coffee coming into your reality. Because when we think about manifesting a cup of coffee in our logical mind and in our creative mind, we know all of the coffee shops out there and how easy it is to just go to a shop and buy it. However, when it comes to other things that are less easy to be accessed, for example, maybe, as I say, money, or maybe say relationships, or whatever it is that you were creating, that is the overwhelming kind of side of the logical mind. So how we actually lessen the kind of importance of what it is that we are actually wanting to manifest into fruition is to actually write down on a piece of paper everything that you would be thinking, doing, acting, and behaving if you had this thing right now. Because when we actually get a clear description of the person that we are, the person who we're being, the person who we think we are, the person who we think everyone else thinks we are, we get a clear description of what that is. It lessens the kind of resistance around the manifestation. Then we actually start to embody this person that we have written down. Because we are embodying that person, it doesn't become as overwhelmed. Now, I know that when we are on this journey, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, I'm not overwhelmed with it manifesting this. It's not something that I don't believe will happen, or all of these things. But we can be actually unconsciously overwhelmed as well too, meaning that we've just been built on these kind of preconceived ideas of how long things take, of how things process, or the progress of things. And so our logical mind can actually see things in a way that may be overwhelming. And we have to actually come into a realization of that, particularly if we are feeling any resistance, or if we actually do have beliefs that we want to override and we want to continue to build a confident belief around. So it's important to understand all of these kind of concepts when we want to create a specific outcome, because when we create a specific outcome, it's actually always only ever going to come from us. It's only going to come from our own mind. There's nobody creating it out there for us. It's us that has to take the charge of it and go into our mind and continue to be diligent with our thoughts and continue to be diligent with the person that it is that we want to be, strive to be, desire to be, or the person who it is that we are wanting to manifest, and or anything that we are creating in our reality. It all comes down to the thought. The thought is the power, but it's only going to be powerful in relation to how we are continuing to think it. So the wavering is what kind of delays things, and the wavering is really just coming down to the overwhelming assumptions that we may unconsciously have about how something is going to come into fruition. So to overcome it, write down everything that you would be, do, and have, and act if you were this person right now. Because remember, what you see in your reality right now is what you're manifesting. It's a reflection of your thoughts, it's a reflection of your actions, it's a reflection of your responses, your choices, everything that you see right now. And when we look at circumstances and they seem like they are impossible, they seem that they are, oversurmountable, that they're overwhelming, it is important to understand that we just acknowledge them for what they are, but we don't dwell in them. So don't feel like you have to actually suppress anything that is emotionally triggering down, because the actual suppressing of it is kind of paradoxically saying that you're not accepting of yourself in those moments. You're not accepting of your own emotions, and you're not validating your own self. And really, when we're coming into this kind of conscious way of being, we want to fully accept ourselves authentically in a way that we accept everything about ourselves, that even when we are down and we are sad and all of that, it's just as equally okay to love ourselves in those moments as it is when we are on top form, when we are winning, when we are feeling good. We have to learn in those ways to love ourselves in the hard times as well as the good times as well. Now, I'm not saying that things are always going to be hard times, but it's just a kind of a understanding that you're perfect just as you are. There's nothing you need to change. All you need to change is the way that you think, in a way that is more optimistic, more positive, and more loving towards yourself and others, and to your whole reality as well too. When you do this, it's the whole idea about gratitude. When you're grateful for this, you're going to have more, and that is the whole concept around that as well too. So I just thought I'd do a video on that. Again, if you have any questions, you can comment down below, or you can email me at manifestwithamanda@gmail.com. Thank you for being here, and I will chat to you soon.